We're live. But I need to go get a thing, so I'll be right back. Hello. Okay. Hello. Uh, hello. I'm back. Um, hey, all right. Theme song, theme song. Just doing theme song. Hello. Hey, yay. This is great. Thank you for coming again, man. I feel terrible. I feel like I am just stealing you every week on a Wednesday, but I really appreciate the support. Do not feel obligated to join. I don't want that to be how anybody feels. But thank you so much, man. I hope you're doing all right. This camera's way off today. So this has been, of course, the day that I schedule, streaming and all this. I'm going to practice. I'm going to do it. All right, there you go. You enjoy hearing the manuals. It's a fun lunch break between activity, between work calls. I like it. I have two, I hope, good ones today. I think very good ones. And I'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, I have had my daughter got sick overnight, so she's home right now. So I'm trying to help her also set up an audiobook to listen to so that it's not just TV time or what the golf time. She is, of course, big into what the golf right now. So yeah, so here's the drama in the background. Trying to set up an audiobook from the library, but now they have required a pin to be added to the account. We don't know what that is. I don't know if we ever created it. So anyway, I have given in, and now she is playing what the golf as she is wont to do. So yeah, what a week. Hope everybody's been doing okay. We what voted yesterday, so that was exciting. Here in California, we get to do the thing where we all just vote, and then somehow still disappointing people win, and so that gave us Adam Schiff, which is not so good. I don't know what the rest of it is, but it's probably going to be Adam Schiff versus a Republican, which super sucks. Um, Barbara Lee speaks for me, as they say, and I'm just grateful to have had an opportunity to vote for her again. Not to make this a politics cast, but there it is. Anyway, video game manuals. Let's read two of them today. I have for us today the NES game City Connection, which I had bought. I never played it as a kid. It was one of those ones that wasn't around me too much, but I love the art. You can sort of see the art on the front, minus the reflection, ugh, is real cool. I think it's beautiful. So I bought it a while back before prices skyrocketed, and I really like it. I just think it's real nice and pretty. And I looked through the manual, and it's got a real family friendly ACAB vibes to it. So that's exciting. So that's City Connection. The other manual, I don't have a physical copy of this game, but I need to rectify that. It is Kasumi Ninja on the Atari Jaguar. This one was a suggestion from Brandon Sheffield. So thank you, Brandon, for the suggestion there. I think this one, and I haven't really read much of it, but I read just a little bit of it, and boy, is it something. So there might be a lot to unpack in that one. Fighting games, always the best because of character bios. So I think that's where we'll go. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I got to get music. I got to get music. I think I got to get a music bed or something. I got to get a music bed. I got to get another camera, and I got to get the ability to do like graphics and sounds and all that sort of stuff. If anything, just to keep it from sounding too dry. I think that's That's my feeling. Let me post before I do that on here. Thank you for reposting. I appreciate that, Chris. I'm going to repost it as well onto another website, X, the website X, the website we love, the website we know and love, X. And that's what I'm going to do. And oh, you posted. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. This is great. This is very helpful. And I am grateful. Yeah. Hey, listen, we're here. We're doing it. This does give me a nice break in the week. Usually, yes, X is everyone's favorite website where nothing is ever bad and certainly not getting worse. If anything, we are. I'm just happy to be part of such a powerful free speech zone. That's how I feel. So, City Connection. Let's read City Connection. City Connection would be profoundly anti-Musk, I believe. So you can see on the cover here a little bit. There's a car, that's you. There's a cop, he's shooting at you. What they want to do, and yeah, it is from Jaleco. Um, One of those ones that I've never actually read. There was not in this copy a free Wilson Sports poster. I don't know what it looks like. You had to pay $1.25 for postage and handling. It's not in this copy, so I'll have to track that down. But let me read to you from the back of the box for City Connection. Drive for your life. Your mission, race. Oh, wait. Your mission, race. It's confusing because it's a capital R. Your mission, race. Your speed demon car from New York to Tokyo in record time. Tour city after city on the way and make points with the cops and the enemy on your tail. They ambush you at every turn, pushing you off the road, leaping into your path. You outsmart them, firing an arsenal of oil cans you've collected on the road, knocking them out and racking up more points. Three tiered highways connect each city. Your job? Cover every stretch of the highway in order to hit the next city. Step on it. Burn rubber. You can make it. Or can you? So, a little tension in the back of the box. Doubting you, making you feel like you can't, and showing them by buying the game and playing it. That's the key. So that is the overall story of City Connection. I am only now realizing that the City Connection is, in fact, the freeways, which speaks to the power of infrastructure, I presume, as this is a political game. This game has a lot going on. They write everything down. And again, this is what I love about these old things. But I'm going to read you the story again. They're going to give you a little more detail than what was on the back of the box. You have to buy the game and open it up to really understand what's going on. My hair is a mess. I got to shave too. This is a disaster. This is what happens when your kid is sick and you have all these grand plans of dropping the kids off at school and then showing back up and feeling, presentable. But sorry, it's not going to happen. No presentable Nick today. The story. Got a few more folks in. We are reading City Connection on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The story. You're on the run. You've broken into an exclusive paint store in New York City. You're carrying 10 gallons of paint. Wait, nope, I can't read today. I was up all night last night, by the way, also, so I'm going to apologize if that happens anymore. You're carrying leaking 10-gallon cans of paint. Now the cops are after you. Two exclamation points. You must drive over every mile on the highways in New York City before you can catch the boat to England. From there, you go on a tour of the world, trying to avoid the police and leaking paint all over. Your only defense? Picking up the oil cans left on the highways and shooting them at the police cars. Send the police cars into a spin and knock them off the road. That's the story. Um, it's frustrating that more Game Jam games don't have stories like this. This does seem like that would be a good fit. I really like this. I like that you are just driving around leaking like cans of oil and paint everywhere. It actually sounds like you're the bad guy here. Also sounds like maybe you're Shadow Mario from Mario Sunshine before we even knew. Um, Playing City Connection is like driving on an action-packed obstacle course in an action-packed. Geez, Louise, I am really struggling with reading today. An action-packed obstacle course in 6 different countries. You'll start in New York, USA. That's helpful, and then move on to London, England. You've got to be good to continue your tour of the world with your next stop in Paris, France, the home of many world class racing car drivers. From Paris, you'll drive to Frankfurt, West Germany, into Delhi, India, and finally Tokyo, Japan. Each city has a three-tiered highway that must be driven and covered with your leaking paint. That's how I approach the highway. You and a friend can play City Connection. Just take turns. Or you can play by yourself. That's helpful. You can play by yourself. Who cares? Who care? Um, I love the idea of the three-tiered highways. We learned here in the '89 earthquake in San Francisco that having the multi-tiered highways was a bad idea. So there you go. Here are some scenes to watch for when you drive City Connection, and it just shows you, helpfully, all the different places that you go. Um, I'm going to move on to Kasumi Ninja because there's a lot to read there. But before we do that, I want to call out something that I wish we did more often. It's the hand-drawn attempts at making pixel art. And again, I will eventually get a real camera to do this. But for now, I am really into the fact that they did this, the little like, hand drawn guys to make it look like it's from the game. There's a car. There's pick up as many oil cans as you can. Police cars, watch out. These guys are after you. Shoot an oil can at the police car and cause it to go into a spin. While it's spinning, drive up behind it and ram it off the road. 400 points for each car. I'm telling you, this is A cab AF. Hello, welcome, Stiggy Man. Thanks for coming in. We're just reading some City Connection here on the NES. As Chris says, a kids game that makes police the bad guys. Big appreciation. That's right. This is not Zootopia, which is propaganda. This is very very ACAB. Also, be careful. This cat comes out of nowhere and shows up everywhere, dashing in front of your getaway car when you least expect it. Avoid him. What I want to know about this cat is what happens if you don't avoid him. I don't want to see any. I don't want to see any sad stuff. So anyway, the reason that I like to call out these little pixel guys is if you ever read like Mad magazine or Cracked in particular in the ooh, the little graphic on my screen for just followed. Thank you. Thanks for following me and thanks for putting the hearts up there. That's kind of cool. This is all new to me. This is like I feel like I'm ancient and I'm just like this is so cool. There's little graphics on my screen. Um, if you read Mad or Cracked in like the '80s, early '90s, and they would do, Mad does something to Nintendo. They thought they were very clever. They would draw the games to look like that using this sort of pixel style, and so that like awakens something very primordial in me that I appreciate. Um, there's hints. Do not hit the cat. Is the hint. I think that's important. When you're touring London, try to catch a balloon. When the number of oil cans you have is 11, this will cause the next balloon to appear right away. That's pretty good. And in Paris, under certain conditions, a heart will appear instead of a balloon. That's very nice. And then the FCC regulations. We won't read the FCC regulations, but that's City Connection. City Connection, a game where you are in charge of polluting and but also counterbalancing that negative aspect with the positive of fighting the police, I guess. So that's City Connection. Going to go ahead and pause there. I know that I need to figure out a way to sort of organize these a little bit more with a little more structure, probably because I'm flying through things. But maybe I'll do a manual. Maybe I'll do a manual and a half. I don't really know. But in the meantime, for the next 30 minutes, we have Kasumi Ninja. And again, I'm going to pronounce it on a Kasumi Ninja, Kasumi Ninja. Um, and let's see, I've got a comment in there. Metagame developer, da da da. God, I got to really change how this screen looks because I am not able to properly see the entire thing. And so you'll have to excuse me on that front. If I scroll up, there we go. Home Team Game Dev said met a game developer worked at Konami in Japan in the 1990s. Told me that opposite of the U.S. art pipeline, concept art leading to pixel art and models, the Japanese studios of the era tended to start with figuring out the in-game art look, and then only after that making the concept illustrations for manuals, magazine covers, and such. Maybe part of the backstory of the hand drawn pixel art things in the manual. That might actually be exactly right. And I think that's pretty cool. That that vibes with how the games oftentimes feel, and boy, do I love that. That's really cool. Thanks for that. Um, Now, Kasumi Ninja, I'm not sure falls under that, but here's the cover. Again, I don't actually have a regular copy of it, so I printed this out. This is resources. So really investing in my future here by printing out Kasumi Ninja for the Atari Jaguar, for the Atari Jaguar 64-bit interactive multimedia system. Um, it tells you do not bend the cartridge, crush it, or submerge it in liquids. Um, be sure to take an occasional recess during extended play to rest yourself. Easier said than done when you're playing Kasumi Ninja, I think. So there we go. Oh, yes, it does. It does feel like a rented game manual. I was reading something, and I got to figure this out. I was reading something about how at one point game rental places were under fire, from like Nintendo in particular for not being able to rent them out. These aren't your games. There are games you can't rent these. And they were able to find a loophole or find a way to be able to rent the games out without any sort of legal ramifications, as long as they didn't also, was it like copy the manuals? They had to create their own manuals or do some sort of thing. So like a little cottage industry around game rental store manuals popped up. I'm not really sure, but I really liked it when I could read a manual on my way home from the video rental store. That's kind of my guiding philosophy. It was nice to just do that. And I miss it. So, well, that's why I'm here today reading Kasumi Ninja on the Atari Jaguar. Discover the mystery. For many generations, rumors have persisted of a small, well hidden island known as Kasumi, which has produced the world's most renowned ninjas. With the help of the preeminent celestials, the island is kept shrouded in secrecy. An impenetrable wall of mist surrounds the island, making it undetectable to modern technology. Those who find the island uninvited are never heard from again. This sort of sounds like Hamunaptra, the city of the dead in The Mummy. All your life you have trained hard in body and spirit at the only home you have known, the Dragon Cloud Temple on Kasumi Island. At the temple, you are trained by the elders, a group of three wise and powerful ninjas. This group of elders consists of Hiei, who embodies the lighter aspect of human nature, Kaio, who embodies the aspect of indifference, and Gyaku, who embodies the darker side of human nature. This balance of good and evil is what keeps the portal to the netherworld closed. Using the blackest magic, Gyaku eliminated the other two elders, throwing the cosmic forces out of alignment. When this happened, the gate to the demon world was blown open, and Gyaku became possessed by the most powerful demon in the netherworld. With this power, Gyaku could destroy the earth! Is an exclamation point. Your fate has been preordained by the celestials to fulfill a great and terrible prophecy. You were told of this by the elders when you were very young. That's a lot to take on when you're a kid. Throughout your life, you wondered what it meant. Now you are sure it is your destiny to defeat Gyaku, close the gate to the netherworld, and restore balance to the universe. The Celestials cannot help you directly, but they have blessed you with the power of absorbing others' abilities. This is just the Kirby origin story. Um, to gain these abilities, you must defeat a variety of champions representing the best fighters in the world. They've been chosen by the Celestials to aid you in your quest. Only through persistence and perseverance you you will have a chance to challenge Gyaku. So a little confusing there. So you are here to fight Gyaku by virtue of Kirbying a series of other warriors. They sort of seem to have dropped. I guess you're the ninja. Do you only play as the ninja in Kasumi Ninja? I've never played it before. Uh, Look at the controls. You get the exciting Atari Jaguar keyboard. It's a keyboard. It's just a straight up keyboard. Pretty incredible stuff. So those are the game controls. I'm going to go ahead and I want to read a little bit briefly about the gore mode. Um, The difficulty settings are easy, normal, hard, and ninja god. Um, I don't see an insert. There's no description of the insert in the manual. I would presume that the Atari Jaguar insert would be mentioned here, but then again, who knows? There are a number of typos throughout this. This is a hell of a this is a hell of a manual. There's a lot in here. The gore level. Just read it. Just read this real quick. The gore level. Use the gore level option to determine how much blood you'll see during gameplay. And as a game in the 90s, you know you're going to want to crank it up from none, no blood, combat. Every time you hit your opponent, you'll draw blood, but it will not stay on the ground. Disturbing. Your opponents will bleed and blood will pool on the floor and drip from the ninja swords at the top of the screen. It's very disturbing. Dark stuff. Gore Fest. This is the highest level. Gore Fest. Only accessible with the parental lock off. The ultimate blood fest with blood spraying, dripping, and flying everywhere. The ultimate blood fest. Note, importantly, Gorefest is the only mode where there are death moves. If the parental lock is on or the game is set to any other gore level, the player cannot activate death moves at the end of the fight. I just want to call out this is extremely important. Parental lock. Select parental lock the first time you play. You'll see a message saying enter new 6-digit code. Enter the code using the keypad on your Jaguar controller. Helpful. You will then be asked to re enter the code for verification, and your parental lockout code is set. Note, do, do not lose this code. If you lose this code, you are you are you are in trouble. The parental code on this podcast, on this telecast, is currently on, so I cannot swear. But if you lose this code, the code can be changed. But if you lose it, you're done. It's done. There's no way. You have to go to the store and buy a new copy of Kasumi Ninja, is my guess. Um, and uh, and there you go. So there's a whole nother page on the gore, which we won't do. The player's story mode, but I'm going to move on over to the characters of our game today. The Habaki and Senzo, the twin ninjas. Habaki is the eldest son by 10 minutes of the Kirigakure family. At an early age, the twin brothers were left in the care of the monks at the Dragon Cloud Temple. I got to get comfortable while I'm reading this. At the Dragon Cloud Temple. The two brothers were equally adept at the arts, both spiritually and physically. The elders, noticing their great skill of the twins, offered them a chance to advance their arts by training as disciples under one of the elders. Ooh, what's happening? I got a text message from Steam saying that, oh, on sale, Kick Bastards. There's a game on sale on Steam called Kick Bastards, which is quite fun. Just heads up, I don't know how much it costs, but Kick Bastards, Steam sale. Habaki was chosen by Kaio and Senzo was chosen by Hiei. They have I forget which one Kaio is. Hiei is the lightness and Kaio is the indifference guy. Not sure why Kaio would have a choice if he's indifferent, but that's okay. There have also been rumors of Gyaku taking a disciple, but no one has ever seen his student. During tournaments held at the Dragon Cloud Temple, the twins always cause a special interest because of their fierce competitiveness. The final match always comes down to the two brothers, and each have won an equal number of championships over the years. Um, yeah, risk of bricking. Yeah, we're talking about the gore code. If you brick a game cart, that brings some real stakes to the proceedings. If you put in the wrong parental lock code and you can't do the death moves and you can't engage in gore fest, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a couple of years of allowance. So now we got some more characters. God, there's so much here. I'm not sure I'm going to have the stamina to make it all the way through this, but we're going to try. We're going to try. I haven't slept and I'm working off of just some coffee. So here we go. Um, Chagi, the kickboxer. Chagi Nelson. God, I love this. They put so much work into this. Chagi Nelson, 5-time world kickboxing champion, has never lost a professional bout. Even at the tender age of 16, Chagi KO'd his very first opponent in the first round. Chagi has trained all over the world, mixing different martial arts to develop a style all his own. Loud and obnoxious, Chagi has the ability to back up his big mouth with a dazzling display of speed and skill. Chagi currently owns a chain of successful kickboxing schools and convenience stores. He has also been in many popular action films such as Under Siege, Seize, the sci- I need to meet the person who wrote this. I'm in awe. I love this. The sci-fi dance thriller The Lambadinator, 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 The Lambadinator, the sci-fi dance thriller. Jeez. And the most famous of his films, the Kickboxing Kid series 1 through 12. He can also be seen currently on TV's Trudger Lodi Private Eye. That's Chagi. That is the first character. I have not read this before. I'm going in blind, and my eyes are wide open now. Thank you to Brandon Sheffield for the suggestion. Um, Alaric, King of the Goths. There's Alaric. Some of history's most feared and ferocious warriors were the Goths. The Goths were a nomadic tribe from northern Europe who would travel the continent in search of battles to join so they might pillage and kill, their two greatest joys. The most ruthless of the Goths was their king, Alaric. Not only was he a renowned fighter, he was also a skillful tactician leading his tribe to certain victory time and time again. One of his greatest accomplishments was his imaginative use of gunpowder in many dangerous and unique ways. I'm curious. So that's Alaric. Um, Now we'll move over to how many are there? Okay. Thundra, the Amazon Queen. Thundra is the queen of a lost tribe of Amazon warriors. These warriors have taken a solemn oath to protect the rainforest from modern industrialists who wish to destroy it for their own profits. She's right. This is done by surgically sabotaging vital equipment and assassinating high ranking company officials. Thundra is the greatest warrior, and as a result, she was appointed queen. She has trained her warriors in fighting arts handed down for generations. This art was taken directly from the forces of nature, and those who have mastered this art can channel their inner power to imitate the fury of nature. I'm going to be honest, Thundra, the Amazon queen, we shouldn't be fighting her. We should be working with her. She was right from the get go. Pakawa, the Comanche chief. Pakawa is the chief of a Comanche fighting tribe, the Tuwi-Ka. For many years, the Comanches lived in harmony with nature. When the colonists settled in, the Comanches welcomed them with open hearts. As time went on, the colonists grew greedy and started to forcefully take the land from the Comanches with no respect for Comanche life. Pakawa decided to train a group of elite warriors and called them the Tuwi-Ka. The Tuwi-Ka were the equivalent of the Green Berets of their time, and they were ones who were sent in first to stealthily assassinate the opponents. Oh God, I can I'm really struggling with reading. They were the ones who were sent in first to stealthily assassinate the opposition and disable key positions. The rest of the tribe would then attack. Pakawa has been in many battles, and he is proud of the many scalps he has collected. Yet again, he's right. He's right. We are fighting people who are correct. Starting to think that the ninjas are the bad guys here. They just seem to want to go fighting. Danja, the urban vigilante. We're going to see what happens here. By day, Danya Ureda, is an assistant DA fighting in court to lock up criminals and keep the streets safe. Hmm. By night, she's a vigilante fighting in a different court where she is the judge, jury, and executioner. This is like London Breed's dream DA. Danya grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, but she studied hard in school and became an exceptional student. As a result, she was persecuted by her classmates and had to quickly learn the laws of the street to survive. When Danya graduated from high school as valedictorian, She was quickly offered multiple scholarships for her academic and athletic abilities. She worked hard in college and studied self defense and exotic weapons to increase her street fighting skills. She earned straight A's and was accepted to Harvard Law School, where she specialized in criminal law. Graduating at the top of her class, she was offered many prestigious positions but decided to take a job with the district attorney of the inner city instead. Um, the inner city gets its own district attorney. She soon realized how corrupt the justice system really was and decided to use her street fighting skills to take the law into her own hands. Danya has mixed the martial arts she learned in college with her street fighting tactics and her personal preference for a weapon, the bolas. These bolas have been modified to administer her brutal brand of justice, giving them a real bang for their buck. I uh, I think that there's a lot to unpack politically in this manual. It's fascinating stuff. So that's Danya, who's an assistant DA who sees that the criminal justice system is corrupt, but seems to think it's corrupt in favor of the in favor of the bad guys. So she is coming from a very, I would say, 1990s justice style of things. Not super sure I'm with her on that. But that brings us to Angus McGregor, the Scottish brawler. There he is, Angus McGregor, the Scottish brawler. Angus McGregor is the blacksmith of his village, Loch Katrin, and as was his father. I'm very confused. As was his father and his father's fathers before him. Um, as was his father. Yeah. So anyway, just a series of blacksmiths, I guess. The constant pounding of hot iron has made Angus a burly man. Legend of Angus's strength quickly spread to the other clans of Scotland, and as a result, he was constantly challenged to tests of strength. These tests include wrestling, boxing, and weightlifting. Angus always won easily, but he always had high praise for his opponents, especially at their funerals. You kill somebody in a weightlifting competition? Angus soon discovered that he loved to brawl and became obsessed with fighting. Any pub Angus visited soon encountered a severe lack of both furnishing and patrons. Angus soon ran out of those who would challenge him, causing him much anger. More like angers, McGregor. This anger grew inside of him every day like a fire, consuming his soul. Now Angus was dedicated his life to finding a worthy opponent, one who might be able to give him the fight of his life. Yeah, did Angus write his own bio? Is a great question. It seems like he might have. This is by far the most appreciative bio of anybody in here. No question about it. Angus rules. Um, and then finally, we have Lord Gyaku, who I've essentially forgotten about while reading all these. You don't get a picture of him. The evil possessed ninja you must defeat to keep the portal to the demon world closed. Gyaku has spent many years in ninja training. Honestly, it doesn't sound that impressive after reading about Angus McGregor, the Scottish brawler. So I think ranking of brawlers, ranking of fighters in this game. It is Angus McGregor at the top, and then everybody else way, 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 way down below. Special shout out to the Amazon Queen for doing good work, and unfortunately getting stuck fighting a bunch of weirdos. So that is the story. That is the story of what's the game called? Kasumi Ninja. It's the story of Kasumi Ninja. And one of the greatest stories of all time, as far as I'm concerned. I think this is really fun. They really put a lot of work into this. And I want to know who wrote the manual. So I am going to look at the credits here in the back of the manual. Angus wrote it. Angus wrote, Angus wrote this. I actually would like to know, since most of these, it's hard to tell on here, but all of these are kind of doing the Mortal Kombat. Here's a picture of a guy thing. You want to see a picture of a guy. There's a picture of a guy. And I'm guessing that these are all folks who were involved in the development, family members, friends, the dev team themselves. So I have to look into that. I'll read a few of the names as we like to do here to give folks their credit for having worked on the game. The lead programmer of Kasumi Ninja is Pete Ninja God Wiseman. So thank you, Pete Ninja God Wiseman. Additional programming, Nob Nicholson, Tony Stockton, and Mark Lihan. So if anybody here knows any of those folks or has heard of those names, let me know. Ted Takuchi and Jim Gregory are the producers. Um, Art Andy Muttonhead Gavin, Andy Jigsaw Johnson, and Martin Caneda Kilner are the artists, with art support from Greg Irwin. Music, Steve Baza from NASA Lord, with design by Jim Gregory, Ted Takeuchi, Sam Tramiel, Hank Kappa, and Joe Souza. Sound effects, Ted Takeuchi, Steve Lord. So yeah, lots of folks in there. Nobody I'm recognizing yet. Fight performers. Here we go. Fight performers. Andy Gavin, Alan Siddle, Julie Ellis, Lynn Loughton, Ian McCraner, and Gene Sovo. The manual design was done by the Kasumi crew. Kasumi crew with a K, as was popular at the time. I'm going to read the testers, lead testers, and then we'll call it, and we can all get about our day with the sights and sounds of Kasumi Ninja ringing in our ears and giving us energy to make it through the rest of the day. The lead tester was Hank Sun Goku Kappa. I'm inspired too. Thank you. I'm glad. We're all very inspired by Kasumi Ninja today. The testers were Tall, Funky Bilu, Scott Hunter, Lance Lewis, Tom Gillen, Dan McNamee, Joe Souza, David Gregory, Paul Gregory, and Andrew Kane. That's who we got. And special thanks to Howard Stern is included in here. Um, Sam Tramiel, I don't know, that name is familiar. James Grunke. These are special thanks, folks. Just another quick note that they did in fact thank Howard Stern in the credits to it. And that's what you got. And when you close your copy of the manual to Kasumi Ninja on the Atari Jaguar, you get reminded that you are playing on the Atari Jaguar. Do the math, 64 bits. None of this baby stuff that you're playing with over in your Super Nintendos. So that is some serious branding, some hashtag branding. Yeah, that's just like two PlayStations. And guess what's not on PlayStation? Kasumi Ninja. So there you go. Yes, do the math, do the math, do the math. Go pick up Atari 50 from the good folks at Digital Eclipse and play some Atari Jaguar games. You will feel inspired. They are, in fact, super interesting, and I'm not even being ironic. I just think that they're really interesting and um, kind of a cool thing. And also, Trevor McFur, underrated shooter. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it right now. So, yes, thanks for joining me on this journey through the world of City Connections ACAB and the um, future of gaming in the Atari Jaguar. I am grateful that you joined me and grateful. It is actually, yes, I'll stop real quick. The Atari 50 anniversary collection is just an incredible collection and does so much. It is the way that I want to see old games be recontextualized forever. I will gladly take in an Atari 50 or Karateka or upcoming Jeff Minter thing for almost every for pretty much anything. Just give me any game and be like, here's what it's about. Here's the context. Here's the history. I will buy it and I will play it and I will live in it and I will enjoy it. So in the interim, until there is the Kasumi Ninja historical collection, I am going to just enjoy the manuals. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. And hope to see folks maybe next week. I'll figure something out. And I'm going to try to spiffy this thing up a little bit more now that I'm a little bit more comfortable. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy being inspired by the manuals we read today. Bye bye.